Hi.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the worst day of my life. My name is Cherish.
And I'm Megan.
And this is episode 11. And somehow we still managed to accidentally record some of it with our microphones not plugged in properly.
Yeah.
And now we're starting over.
Yeah, good thing we didn't get very far.
Oh, God, no kidding.
We didn't really get very far at all.
No, not at all.
Hey, that's why it pays to look at the wiggle.
Maybe this will even be better. Who
Yeah,
knows?
probably.
That was garbage. That was a bad one.
That was bad.
Yeah.
It
was mostly just Stanley barking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And us talking about how, he wasn't.
How he's a pretty color.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about that. Yes.
Yeah, this one's better.
Okay.
This one's better.
Yes,
this
way
one's
better.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I was thinking about actually earlier today was that last time we recorded, we were at your house and Kenny said, "Oh, so what are you guys talking about on the show today?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah.
And he seemed like that was strange. Because I guess on his podcast, they have like a topic each time that they're for sure going to talk about. Mm-hmm. And I've wondered if maybe people think that we plan out at all what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I think
if you listen, it's pretty obvious that
this was not, we didn't put a lot of planning into it took me forever even just to write the list of things that I might potentially talk about or whatever. And
it's still over there.
Oh, yeah, because I thought that's what I was wondering if I left it here.
Yeah.
But no, his podcast that he does, the video podcast, is very structured. They plan a week ahead, because it's a different type. But they put a YouTube video of what they're going to talk about the next week, and then they have it all, and it's at a certain time, and even Kenny sits in a certain place to have the specific background, and his friend Lucas has even kind of pimped up his background, because before it was just one picture, and I guess he felt like Kenny had kind of a way more cool background going on, and so he wouldn't.
Kenny just has all of the album covers, right?
Yeah,
that are on your kitchen wall.
Yeah, well, and he even talks about that in one of the episodes about how that Lucas was saying he really loves that wall, but he was like, yeah, it used to be in the bedroom, and Megan requested that I move it out to the kitchen because it just doesn't really It wasn't that I didn't like it. Yeah, I liked it.
It's really good where it is.
Yeah,
for sure.
It just wasn't bringing that romantic bedroom feeling for me, because I want to make the bedroom kind of a not too femme feeling, but
cozy.
Not cozy. I have certain paint colors that I've already picked out to paint the furniture in there, and I have a plan for what I'm going to hang in there. Yeah. And all this stuff, but it's slow work in progress. Plus, I want to get a bed frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of make it give it more of a
grown up feel.
Yes, and I kind of looks like both of our tastes into one.
Why don't you, real quick, plug Kenny's podcast, just in case anyone on here happens to be interested in that as well. He might have a friend that is, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's just funny in general. So, yes, my boyfriend has a podcast with his really close, I guess probably best friend, Lucas, and they've known each other since they went to film school in Scottsdale, Arizona, millions of years ago.
Yeah. And
they're both really, really funny guys, and my boyfriend, Kenny, is a big movie nerd, but when I say movie nerd, I mean, he is, movie Rain Man status. That's what I was trying to say the other day, was, we were embarrassingly driving through the McDonald's drive-thru because I wanted a Filet-O-Fish sandwich. Even though I live right on the ocean, where I'm just fresh, caught that day, fish and chips, cod down the road or whatever. Wow. It's I really was craving a Filet-O-Fish sandwich. I don't know why, but so and some song came on the radio, And he's like, I don't know what the movie was, but it was something like, it wasn't like Shawshank Redemption, but it was like, like Lethal Weapon, 1993. And then he was like spouting out who the director was, who was the producer. And he's like, yeah, give me a name title of like a song. And he's like, and he's like, because I like, I can probably tell you what movie and year and all this other shit it came from. And he did. Yeah. Like, he was just like, it was like this crazy... I was like, whoa, he's like a walking movie encyclopedia. But
it could definitely come in handy, like, for bar trivia.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're ever on a game show where you get to call somebody that you need to know that shit.
Yeah, it's nuts. But his mom's like that too, with her ability to do, like, she's like, was like I think like a Jeopardy contestant or whatever.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, but just like, I don't know. It takes me forever to think of, like a song title or an album or a year or who did this or what actor that guy was or how, I don't know, but I
cannot remember actors' names for sure.
Yeah. So anyways, long story short, the podcast of Kenny and his friend Lucas.
What's it called?
It's called Buddies on Buddies.
And it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Exclusively.
Yes, Buddies is spelled Buddies. Yeah. And then it's good to do the hashtag symbol 1. That will pull you up. But it's basically them talking about buddy action cop movies. So even if you're not into that, maybe you know somebody that is, but it's very funny. Like, I feel like it's very funny regardless. Yeah. And if still I don't know half of what they're talking about, but just the way that they kind of interact with each other is pretty funny.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, I think it's considered probably comedy. Mm-hmm. Did I really just like sell that out to the audience? Well, go look at Buddies on Buddies. But yeah, no, it's really sweet. Like, it's just kind of like us, I think, for them, like getting, because they usually do end up talking on the phone with each other for maybe like an hour and a half at a time. So I kind of thought that, hey, you're doing that anyways, and you guys are always talking about movies. Why don't you just do that like for a podcast? Because people would find that really fascinating, I think, especially people that are really into movies, or
a lot of people are.
Yeah, or just bored, or, anything, just like want to go maybe watch, because they watch kind of ridiculous movies that are, I've been watching them with Kenny, and they're kind of just obscure, random, like buddy action comedies, pretty much. They're buddy action comedies. But some of them are really silly, and it's just kind of, I guess, fun. Probably to just even hold yourself accountable to watching it and then talk about it, like the following week. I mean, I think they want people to comment, obviously, like on the comment thread. Yeah. About maybe like what they thought of the movie. Yeah. Or fan mail or whatever somebody does, like tell them, critique even. Yeah. Because it's just kind of new. But I think at first it was tricky, because I think that, like, when you're used to talking to somebody like like we are in person, or even on like the phone, it seems like it's more of a fluid. Yeah. But when you're doing video, it's like sometimes the cues, like what you would be if you're standing in front of somebody, like eye contact or just certain.
I hated, like, every time you and I have had to record either on the phone or on Zoom, it just, like, even just listening to those episodes, they just don't have the same feel.
Right, like the flow.
Yeah, and I think even just wearing headphones and talking into like a big microphone makes it feel so much more like a something I should have stage fright for. Yeah. Whereas the way we do it when we're in person, or we just have this, microphone clipped to us, it feels like we're just hanging out drinking.
I think that's what they had to probably iron out the most, was just not talking over each other at first,
Yeah, it's so much easier to do it in person.
Yeah, because it's like the whole being polite, like, oh no, you go ahead, no you,
right.
It's like,
and you're both just silent.
Yeah, but I think as the episodes have gone on, they're starting to get more of like a good flow, which is good.
It definitely takes a few episodes to get comfortable.
Right.
I wish, when I look at our stats and stuff, I see so many people have listened to episode 1 a lot more than I've listened to like 2 or 3 or 4, and I'm just like, oh, just stick with it. Just listen to a few more episodes. It gets so much less awkward, so much more, so good. But There's no way to
Can't make them backwards. Nope. Like they can't like start.
I mean,
can't
some people probably
reverse
start.
Reverse
No, I can't control on their phone what order they listen to. I can't.
Right.
I wish I could.
Plus,
But
maybe they're probably like want to listen to maybe a title based off of maybe something that they're like. Maybe they don't realize that it's not maybe what they thought. Like when they see anal, maybe they think that we're going to be talking about like how to do anal or anal beads or like how to stretch out your butthole to prepare it for anal or whatever.
any number of things.
Yeah, but then it ends up being like not what they expected at all.
Crime scene on a bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stanley,
Not cute.
Quit licking your wick. I think hopefully Stanley. I really hope Kenny found Stanley's cone of shame at his mom's. I'm going to ask him really quick. Sorry, while we're still talking.
That's fine. I was going to say, if we did pick some sort of topic for today, if we wanted to,
Yeah.
I would say we should choose between cheaters. Have you had experience with cheaters?
Oh, that show?
No.
Oh, no.
In
Cheaters
our real life.
In general. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I had a great cheater story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say cheaters, ghost stories, or theme park stories.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, I think both of us probably have plenty of those, but I'm gonna let you pick of those three.
Oh, gosh.
Cheaters,
Okay.
theme parks,
Cheaters,
or...
theme parks.
What was it?
No. Okay. Cheaters.
Ghosts.
Oh, my gosh. Ghosts. Oh, jeez. Cheaters, ghosts. It's like three things to try to remember. And it's like, wait, what was number 2?
Oh my
Cheaters,
gosh.
ghosts, and theme parks or amusement parks.
Yeah.
Amusement parks, theme parks. Okay.
Same diff.
Same in the
Fair, county fair.
County fair. Yeah, no, I have like all of those. I have a story for those topics, but I'm trying to figure out which one to talk about right now. Stanley, oh, buddy boy, Stanley.
Who's a baby big buddy boy?
Babu Dabu. That's what Kenny does to him. Babu Dabu, Babu Dabu. He doesn't care if I do it, but if Kenny does it, he's like all. It's like their love connection or whatever is when he talks to him like in this language of Babu Dabu.
When Big Daddy says Babu Dabu.
Yeah, Big Daddy. But okay, so ghosts. Okay, no, okay.
Ghosts, theme parks, cheaters. Don't even think. Just say one.
Okay, I guess.
Don't even think.
Cheater.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You go first.
God, how do I keep like drinking the whole wine? Okay, so I guess cheaters, just because you like brought that one up first, so then I like already thought about back in the day. I had a lot of cheater experiences, but kind of my main. Hey, well, I guess I can just talk about. I guess I could talk about a couple of cheater stories if the time allows.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, cheater. I guess main cheater number 1 was. Oh, I guess I probably shouldn't throw him under any bus.
You don't have to say any names.
Podcast. Well, I think that certain listeners would know who I was referring to. Savannah's dad when he cheated on me in high school. It was high school.
You can throw him under the bus from high school.
So maybe I told this story about how I got cheater revenge or whatever when I let the air out of all of his tires?
No, you did not.
Hey, Stanley. Go. Stop it. It's also a thing that he does when he like wants like a negative attention response to you. I feel like he does it to Kenny and I a lot when we're trying to have any kind of tender moments. Just like starts doing he'll start chewing his penis basically. Like if we try like get handsy or anything like that, it's like hit somehow.
One thing that I love about Banjo is like from the time he was just a puppy when he would sleep in bed with me and Patrick and like snuggled between us usually.
Yeah.
If we would even kiss a tiny bit, he would just up and walk away and go to the other side of the trailer immediately.
That's polite.
Yes, so polite. Whereas Murdoch would like...
Oh, yeah.
would, like sit there
like drooling on your body, like dripping like
Can you get this fucking dog out of here, please?
Right.
Yeah. So high school.
So high school, I found out that Savannah's dad was cheating on me with this, like, very, like well endowed, like, kind of lady at the school who was always like wearing like very, just very provocative clothes. Not that there's anything wrong with that, like positive body image or whatever, but I just remember being like really insanely like jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In high school.
Yeah.
Sure.
And, yeah, there's even a picture. I even still have a picture of her like standing in this group of my skater trash friends or whatever. And one of them was like holding, like shaking her hand, but it's just a funny picture because she looks like she sticks out like a sore thumb amongst the like skater trash friends because she's wearing like this tiny white tight like tank top and like super short things with her well endowed as just the sun is gleaming down on it in such a way that
golden
it
titties.
Yeah, she had golden titties.
Okay.
And so it's a really funny picture. I'll have to show it to you sometime.
Okay.
But anyway, so he cheated on me with her. I can't even remember. They might even just made out. It might have not have been like a full blown penal or any kind of other, it may not have gotten that far, but I somehow found out about it. And I got like infuriated, and I went to the classroom that he was in, which was Spanish. And it was my favorite, actually, like I think she was my favorite teacher at that school, Senor Hawkins, and she and I like really like got along really well. And so this is actually embarrassing because it was her class that he was in that hour, and I like went and like I think I was like standing outside the window, and I think I like knocked or something on the window and like pointed at him, and then was like instructed him to like come out of the classroom and talk to me in the hall. And then I confronted him on the cheating. And then I think I like stormed off. It was just like totally dramatic and crazy. I think it was like on the stairwell, like out in like building 2 or something. So then I like storm off, and then I'm still like fuming about this finding out that he was cheating on me. So I go to the parking lot like a total psycho, and I get a tiny rock, and I go and I undo all of on his tires, the air cover.
The little cap.
Yeah, the cap. Yeah, the cap.
Air thing.
Yeah. And I took the tiny rock and I sat there because it was an open campus, and I just slowly like drained out all of the air from every single tire on his car. And then, like I think I told my friend Julia, or she may even have been there, I'm not sure, I can't remember, but basically like what I had done. And then we proceeded to like, I think, hide behind another car and like watch him come out of the building to get into his car to go home, and then find that all of his tires were like deflated, and he like pretty much, is understandably so.
Hey, at least you didn't puncture the tires.
Freaked out. Yeah, it wasn't permanent. I didn't want to do that. Like, I didn't want to permanently, cause any damage to the car, but I just really wanted to inconvenience his day. That was my thinking. Stop it. But yeah, he was furious. I think he had like an old Volva. He had an old Volvo that was like a 1982, those like hardcore like steel ones. And I think he like punched it like out of anger or whatever. And I was just like laughing like behind a car because I was just like really proud of myself. I thought, hey, love spoken here.
Stanley, is this necessary?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like
time
throwing him into another destination, like with like Murdoch.
Yeah.
He got like really excited. Happy. You want to go see your friend Merm?
Oh, he's tilting his head all over the place. You want to go snuggle with Murdoch?
You want to go see Mermy? This is what he does when I ask him if he wants to come here, in the apartment, and he gets like really. Well, last night I asked him. I was like, "Do you want to go see Banjo tomorrow?" And then he got like really excited and started running out into the living room because I think he thought Banjo was at our apartment. And I felt kind of bad after the fact because I was like, "Oh, sorry, buddy."
On the subject of cheaters, I had an experience after Dave and I got divorced. I started talking to this dude who I went to high school with.
Yes. Does his name start with a P?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a huge crush on him in high school, And, I mean, me and all of my friends did.
Yeah.
And when he started talking to me after that, I was like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to hang out with this guy. I'm going to go on a date with him, so it was all like exciting and stuff.
Right.
So, like, hang out with him a few times. He's hilarious. Like, I'm just going to say definitely in much better shape than me. And,
like works out or like often or like a
Yes.
gym rat or whatever.
Yes.
Is that what that's called?
he's like, owns his own house. He's like got, a really good job. He's like a chef and he like cooks me these like amazing, like multiple course meals, all this stuff. And I'm just like, feeling pretty good about this. I was like, this is fun.
Yeah.
We're having a great time together. Everything's going good. So then I start noticing that there's days where he's like very talkative with me and like responding to my texts and things like that a lot and being really, I don't know, normal.
Yeah.
And then there's days that'll go by where he's completely like silent, like won't respond to me at all. And really weird.
Yeah.
But then when he comes back, it's like he wants to talk to me, and it's not like he's ghosting me like for good.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's super weird. And I had, when Dave and I got divorced, it had been a long time since I had dated anyone,
Yeah.
So I was like, is this like normal to just like come and go willy-nilly and not,
Yeah.
like I kind of like somebody to talk to me regularly, but I don't want to be like overly needy if that's like not normal. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it.
I didn't want to like screw it up because I really liked this guy too.
Right.
So one of these periods where he's not talking to me much, I start kind of confronting him about it. I'm like, what is the deal? What's going on? Why are there like days where you go by where you're not talking to me?
Yeah.
And he responds and he said, you're texting me too much. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Motherfucker. So
Yeah.
I deleted his number and just like deleted all, it was just like, fuck you. Blocked him. I was like,
Right.
don't tell me I'm texting you too much. Like if somebody likes you, they are never going to tell you that,
Right.
So time goes by and I'm actually with you hanging out with some acquaintances.
Yeah. Yes.
And they asked me, they're like, are you seeing this so-and-so person?
Yes. Yes.
And I said, well, I was for a little while, but he was being weird and just like kind of
Like
wishy-washy.
oh
I
yeah.
don't know.
Yes.
Like
Fickle or
yeah, fickle, giving me mixed messages. I don't know. I was really confused by it.
Yo-yo behavior-ish.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And they were like, oh, well, how long were you guys kind of seeing each other or whatever? Mm-hmm. So I told them and they're like, oh. And they're being just really strange about this. And
Yeah.
I was just like, what is the deal? Like why are you asking me all these questions about this guy? And they're like, well, he has been our good friend's boyfriend for like 2 years.
Oh, geez, Louise.
And they're still together.
Yeah. God, yeah, that is a pretty bad. I've been in that predicament before.
Yeah, no, I had not.
Yeah.
And that like that I felt like such a piece of shit. And I was like,
yeah.
I told them, I was like, I had no idea. No
Right.
idea. He never even, there were no signs of a woman in his life, like at his house. There was no like,
Right.
I had no clue whatsoever. I ended up like befriending her. Mm-hmm. And then years later I told her, cause she's like, like happily married to somebody else now, and like, you know,
Right.
they broke up later and did all that stuff. But like years later, I told her, I was like, that other person was me, and I had no idea. And she was like, "Oh, I know, it's okay, it's all right." Like and but we like corroborated our stories where he was giving both of us the same thing. Like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've been really sick. I've had such a bad fever that I like wasn't even looking at my phone or paying attention. Oh, I threw my back out really bad, and I just like I can't hang out, and I can't do anything." Like, he was doing that to me when he was hanging out with her, doing that to her when he was hanging out with me.
Yeah, that's so shitty,
scummy.
Yeah.
Ugh, such a bummer.
Yeah.
But, you know, I learned an important lesson in dating, I guess.
Well, it's cool that, like, you and this other person also were kind of able to, like you said, corroborate, but also get to maybe, like, see, like, prep yourself for potentials of seeing, like, the red flags in the future. You know, because but that's like kind of, you know, like I was watching the Lacey Peterson movie or whatever they just made. But it's that whole, you know, like Scott Peterson, how with that Amber Fry woman, you know, because she had no clue. And she felt so bad. I remember, like, because I watched that, you know, kind of, it's, you know, I think it's like a made-for-TV-ish type movie, or, but it's, I guess, a couple maybe notable actors in it, but it's like this dramatization of the story of Lacey Peterson. And so I was remembering, though, like back in the day, watching her, the woman Amber Fry, go up and speak to the media and everything, and she really did seem so sincere and genuine that she had no idea. And I just felt so bad for her.
I mean, you can hear him on the phone to her telling her, like, that, you know, he told her that his wife had died a few years ago or something, or like that,
like a year prior, and that he didn't really want to talk. You know, he didn't want to talk about the circumstance. Basically, she went missing. She's gone, or whatever. We're not, you know, maybe verbatim.
Yeah,
but
he doesn't want to talk about it,
right? And then, but then, you know, she sees he was trying to avoid. That's why he was trying to avoid being on media, is because he didn't want her to see him on TV. But it was like he calls her from the candlelit memorial, you know, and saying he's in the vigil, and he's saying that he's like somewhere, like I think Paris.
Like, I'm in Paris
for New Year's.
Fireworks and blah.
Wish you were here.
Yeah.
What a scumbag.
Yeah.
But people that can lie like that with just absolutely has to be like kind of really sociopathic type behavior, you know?
They exist. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a good thing for anyone that's young or dating, I guess, is just, you know, don't assume that everybody's as cool as you. I mean, don't assume everybody's cheating either.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it. But like, a red flag to watch out for is if somebody will talk to you for a bunch of days and hang out with you for a bunch of days and then be gone, missing for a bunch of days. Like, they're probably up to something.
Or doing weird things like having a room. I mean, there's all these different crime shows, like having where the guy has a room that you're not allowed to go in, or whatever, like that he keeps like a lock on, and like, what are you doing in my closet, or what are you, like, why are you touching my stuff, or whatever. You know,
assume that there are serial killer trophies of some sort in there.
Or at least have the conversation to say that it makes you uncomfortable that they have some sort of room that you're not ever allowed to know what's in there. Like, it could be a dead body.
Has that happened to you before?
No, we're just talking about the being on like a recent being liars, and it being on a recent crime show that I watched, where there's like the red flags of people being secretive, or, you know, like just not showing up for a few days, and what you think is a, you know, like you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and then they just disappear for days at a time. Like, that to me isn't, you know, that would be a red flag, but you didn't know that then. You know, because you're like wondering.
He like introduced me to a bunch of his friends and stuff, and was, I don't know. It was so weird. I'm still confused by it, but
and I don't know. I've talked about the boyfriend that I had that he did all that stuff where he beat himself in the head with the brick and like broke into my apartment. I had to call the police. I tell you about that guy?
No.
Or talk about it on the...
No.
Okay. So he was another cheater, but he was also just like a pathological liar. And he he would just, he was very, very dishonest about his, like, a lot of things. But he was also had, if, I was in the position to determine a major alcohol problem.
Yeah.
And so he was just always doing really crazy things. Main thing that he ever did that was really crazy, and this was kind of when like kind of the beginning, I guess, of the end of me dealing with his dishonest ways. But he had come, I guess, got off of work, and he was supposed to come over to my apartment like after work to hang out. And Savannah was really little at this time, and he also knew he was not allowed to come to my apartment if he had been drinking. Mm-hmm. Well, he didn't show up after work, and I guess he went and hung out with a friend and got like wasted drunk. I think he got dropped off at my apartment because at the time I don't even think he could drive, but he got wasted drunk and then showed up, and I wouldn't let him in. Well, first he came in. I was taking a bath. I didn't realize how drunk he was. And he came into the bathroom and he was like slurring and like, like kind of like falling over. And I was like, you can't be here. And like he was like reaching in his pocket for something, and then like falls out like this like piece of paper with like this girl's phone number on it in his pocket. And he smelled like gross, like he smelled like perfume. He was like super wasted drunk. And I was like, you need to go. Like, I've already told you can't be here. When Savannah's here, if you've been drinking, like you're not allowed to be here. And so I get out of the bath, like to start, like getting him out, because he's like standing and he's all just like super like sweaty and just gross. Like he's been, I don't know, maybe at like the club, just somewhere gross. And so then I get out and I'm like trying to get him out of my way. Well, he just like pushes me super hard to the point where I took like the shower curtain down with me and I hit my head on the outer the shower bathtub wall tile. So, and I knocked myself out and then I fell like into the bathtub and my legs were just like hanging over the edge. Because it's probably like another trigger warning moment. Files. So yeah, so I finally I come to. Savannah's like super freaked out, crying, hiding under a kitchen table. She's terrified. Yeah, he's like pushing me around. I'm trying to get him out of my apartment. I call the police. I get him like locked out of my apartment, and then he proceeds to sit out there. He picks up a brick out of my yard, like I had like a garden. And then he proceeds to start beating himself in the head with a brick, like to the point where he bashes it open enough where he's like now bleeding. He's crying and he's screaming out, "Why am I so gay? Why am I so gay?" Which I did not understand at all, but either way. So I don't know what that was going on. But he starts rolling around in the dirt, like mud at this point, because he's sweaty, bleeding. Like my yard, I think I'd watered the plants recently. So he's like rolling around in mud, crying, all this stuff. Then the police get there and I tell them, because I was, kind of a naive at the time, but I told them that I didn't want them to arrest him. I wanted them to get him a cab to go over to his friend's house where he supposedly had just come from, where his car is supposedly at. I don't even know. I was just like, you can take him and drop him off there. I was like, I don't want him to be arrested, but I don't want him here anymore. So they ordered him a cab. He promised them that he was going to get in the cab. The cab comes. He'd fled. He went and like hid behind a bush and didn't get in the cab. I thought he got in the cab. So then I like get Savannah calmed down, like try to go to bed because it's super late at night at this point, and I had to be at work at like 7:30 the next morning. So I go get Savannah calmed down. I'm having like major anxiety from this whole event, obviously. Then I start hearing like pounding on the door. It's him. He's come back. I won't let him in. So he breaks my kitchen window with his fist. And then and it's like a high kitchen window. Then he jumps into it and starts crawling through broken, jagged glass, cutting himself open. I'm pushing him out. So that's like cutting him up even more. And I'm just like pushing him out the window and have to call the police again. Because he's like trying to crawl into my sink in the kitchen. Luckily, he was like drunk enough to where pushing him back out, he was like that. He couldn't, like he was just, his strength, I guess, wasn't really that high at that time because he was so drunk. Anyway, push him out. Police, call the police. They come back. He again, he fled again. Like he went and they had to give me like what's called like a vine. Like it's like a number that you have to register with, and they basically call you when they get arrested. But so you have to kind of wait until you hear from them. That person's just out somewhere, like wandering around. He was like hiding in bushes, like ready to like come back to my apartment.
Oh my God.
Finally, like I guess super early in the morning at like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. when the sun started coming up, they found him and arrested him and then took him to the county jail. And I didn't get any sleep. Savannah was like, really traumatized. I go to work the next morning and like totally just had the worst night ever. And I'm like sitting there at work. He got out of jail and he shows up. He has like a cab drop him off at my workplace. And he had put the same clothes on that he was wearing the night before. So he was bloody and mud. And looking disgusting. And I work at this really nice restaurant at the time in the cafe and really like nice area. And he comes in and like I guess my coworkers like saw him. They're like, is that like Megan's boyfriend? They didn't recognize him because he looked so like haggard. And he gets on his knee and tries to propose marriage to me. Yeah. He's like begging me to like take him back and marry him.
Yeah.
And I was just like, get out of here. Like, get out of here. But he ended up just like stalking me, harassing me. He would show up at our house and all the time. And one day he showed up and he was just out in the yard. Savannah was like, Mommy, so-and-so's in our yard. And I was like, what? Like, go and look out the window. And he's out there crying and pulling weeds out of our yard. And I go out there and I'm like, what are you doing here? You need to leave. Like, you're not allowed to be here. And he was like, I promised your mom I would pull the weeds. And he's like, just let me, make that promise. I promised her. He's just, let me just do it. I just need to do this. And he's like crying, tears are pouring out of his face. And then I was just finally like, fine, like,
yeah, go for it.
Do the weeds, pull the weeds. But even before that, the cheater, this is all about cheating, but that's how crazy, I was just giving you a backstory of how crazy he was. But before this happened, I was actually like willing to, I guess, maybe take him back over. But I was at his apartment. I'd spent the night or whatever, and his apartment was a little bit messy, but not bad.
Yeah.
He went to work, and I just like stayed there, and so I just started like tidying up or whatever, and I was like vacuuming, and I don't know. I always did weird shit like that for like my boyfriend. I was always like wanting to be like kind of
nice thing.
Yeah, like I wanted to like look like I was good wife material. So like cleaned out his apartment like thoroughly, like took the cushions off the couch or vacuumed under there, like all this stuff. But I started finding like during the cleaning like women's underwear that like thongs and stuff that weren't mine. And I think I found like women's stuff in like his dorm when he was going to ASU and just so. But I got really pissed. So the way that I retaliated the cheating that time was at that time, this was actually illegal then, but I think it is illegal maybe in general if you don't have like the right, like a license, but he had a pound of weed in his refrigerator and it was like wrapped in saran wrap and it was like a brick, like it was super tight, like a heavy brick of weed.
Like in police busts?
Yes.
Like that kind of,
yeah, it was just one, but he was just like doing small time like sales or whatever, like with his friends or people he worked with, whatever. But I totally stole it because I knew that like it was like the one thing I could steal that he couldn't report me for stealing. And I didn't really even smoke that much weed at that time, but I remember giving it to my friend Nick and just he opened it in like his garage and when he like stabbed it or something with a knife, it just like buds like he like busted open and then like buds flew
golden
everywhere.
Light
came
flooding out of it
yes
right into his face.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, he was so stoked on that. And
bet.
I was just so glad to just be like, what are you going to do? Like,
Yeah.
what are you going to do about me stealing your weed?
That's great.
But yeah, he was a little cray. He had a pathological lying problem, but he also had like a cheating. Like, I think he was
Yeah.
cheating on me just like probably all the time.
Well, I think those things kind of go hand in hand. The lying and the cheating. I mean, they kind of have to.
Yeah. Yeah. He was wacko.
So I had this boyfriend who cheated on me multiple times.
Yeah.
But the times that, like, when I think about cheaters, like, he is just right in my mind. And I was with this person for years. Like, I don't know why I kept giving him chances.
Yeah.
I used to refer to him as my, like, my poison person. You know, that person that, like, you know, is just the fucking worst, toxic, like, bummer piece of shit. And you just keep giving them new chances. They convince you. They're manipulative. Like, yeah, that was him. But anyway, like, when we lived in Seattle, I remember one night, the whole night started with me being irritated with him because I was at a friend's house at a party, and I wanted him to come meet me at that friend's house and, like, walk with me to the wherever we were going next or something, because it was like kind of a sketchy, scary neighborhood.
Yeah.
He never showed up, and I kept calling him and calling him and calling him, and he never showed up. And I was like, cool, so I guess I'm just gonna go by myself through this scary neighborhood. So I remember I called Dave, and I talked to Dave on the phone while I was walking the whole time, complained to Dave about my shitty boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it was like all night long, he was just unavailable. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was, like, pissed off. He never showed up. He never, like, I never got a hold of him the whole rest of the night, and we were supposed to be hanging out. So I went home to that apartment building that I lived in, that all of my friends lived in, that we lived in. So, like, I was staying in my neighbor's apartment where I could see into my apartment. And I was like, I'm just going to stay here. Like, fuck him. He's, like, been a dick to me all night. He's, like, been unavailable, whatever. I don't even remember what happened, but he had been being a dick. And so then at, like, 2 a.m. or something like that, I see the lights come on in our apartment, and he comes home, and the first thing he does is he goes into the bathroom and showers, and I can see him doing that.
Yeah.
I watch him go into the bathroom and shower, and then he comes out, and then he calls me, and he's like, "Where are you? Oh, I want you to come home, blah, 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 blah." Anyway.
Yeah.
He ended up admitting to me that he, like, had cheated on me that night or whatever. He ended up marrying the girl that he cheated on me with that night, and they're very happy together.
That night?
Yes. No, I mean, yeah. Many years later, he started dating her.
Wow.
But, so... Good.
Okay,
good
gotcha.
thing. Yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I'm like, they
So-
went and eloped to Vegas that night, and then
so
he came back and
cheated
showered.
on me with this girl, and then many years later, him and that girl started talking again.
Wow.
And then they got married. I think they have kids. I think they're very happy. So anyway, good for them.
Yeah, you're better off too. He's better off. Everybody's like, yeah,
right.
No, cheating didn't have to happen.
But this same exact person, later we had moved to an apartment in Olympia, and we had a place together in Olympia, and it was his 21st birthday, I think, and I was 20.
Yeah.
So he went out with his friends all night and was, like, drinking. He was a big drinker. That was one of this dude's problems. But
yeah,
he, I worked at Starbucks at the time, and I had to open the next day, which is, like, you had to be there at, like, 4 o'clock in the morning or something ridiculous. So I was like, I'm going to have to go to sleep super early. I'm going to go spend the night at my parents' house so that you can go party with your friends. You and your friends can crash at our place. You can, you know, do whatever. So on the way to work the following morning, I had to, like, stop by the house and grab something. So I, like, go into my apartment, open the door. One of his friends is passed out on our couch. And I go into my bedroom.
Yeah.
And he's in there with another girl in my bed.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's
no.
in her underwear, topless,
Oh, God.
in my bed. And I think I had a book in my hand.
Yeah.
And I walked over to the bed where he was sleeping. I walked over next to him and I lifted it up super high and I fucking like full on slammed it into his face super hard. This like,
whoa.
It was like a hardcover book. Like it
Yeah.
was like a serious book. And I like smacked him super hard with it. It was the only time I've ever been like violent. But
yeah.
he woke up from a dead ass, like drunken 3-something in the morning, a.m. sleep. He probably like just had sex with this girl and passed out.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, and I still dated that guy after that somehow.
Oh, wow, yeah. But I get it. Like, I did those things too.
How?
I don't
Why?
know.
So stupid.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I guess we have to probably, but I mean, I guess we probably have cheater stories to Kingdom Comes, it sounds like.
Oh my gosh.
'Cause I know I have like, there's like more cheater stories.
Well, we'll do that again someday then.
Yeah.
But for now.
Okay. Yeah. But sorry, the cone of shame we have not located it. I'm just gonna have to go buy a new one, I think.
That sucks.
It's okay. It was like, I don't know, it was like $8 or something.
Will he keep
but
it on?
He will keep it on. He's actually really good with the cone of shame because he's had to wear them so many times in his life. He actually figured out how to get himself in and out of a tiny dog door like perfectly by how he has to turn his and maneuver his head to get the cone through. But yeah, he like the cone is just kind of like a second skin to him. Yeah. Just with his allergies and his gastrointestinal problems and when he likes to chew his stomach off from the allergies and when he ate the plastic foot, cone of shame has been there. But anyway, so maybe we can have a to be continued like cheater underwear eater had a wife but couldn't, what is it? Is that even a good couldn't feed her? Couldn't keep her?
Couldn't keep her?
Couldn't keep her? I don't know.
Feed her was the first thing I thought too, but that
can't
be right.
Maybe he couldn't feed her because instead of going to work, he was cheating.
Yeah.
And it was like back in the day when women weren't allowed to work. So it's like
had to be
basically
fed by a man.
Yeah, and she wasn't getting dinners because he was like habitual cheater.
That makes sense.
Because I would think that like cheating to me though, just to wrap it up, always to me it's crazy when, especially like I was watching another one, of course, my murder shows.
Yeah.
But they were talking about how the guy had like 3 different relationships with like different women, but he was also managing to like pull, like he had a full-time job where he actually would spend extra hours there, like working with kids. He was like, and he would show up to the kids that he was a high school teacher for. He would show up to their like weekend events. So I was just like, where's this guy finding all this time, like to have like do all those kinds of things that seem like they would take a lot of time in life, and then also juggle 3 serious relationships with other women, and then nobody suspects or.
It sounds so stressful.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that would give me some massive GI upset just trying to like, I don't know, like keep up with lies or. Like the times that you accidentally have text messaged to somebody the wrong text message.
It's got to happen all the time. A lot of them have different phones.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's true. Like they get really crafty. But that in and of itself, I don't know. You have to watch, if you haven't seen it, we just watched it, but it's like the Tinder Swindler. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, it's pretty interesting. We watched that last night.
Tinder Swindler.
Yeah, it's like a con man who goes but this well, you just have to see it. I'm not going to give a spoiler, but Tinder Swindler. Oh. We watched it through its entirety without it pretty much kept my interest, which how like my attention span is not very long. So, but anyway, sorry.
Here, no. Okay, hold on one second.
Okay.
So I need to know if I'm the only person that does this because no one has answered me. You had to get a COVID test recently, right?
Yes, several.
Where they put the swab in your nose, right? And like up into your brain.
Yeah. Well, mine wasn't a brain. It was like 3/4 of an inch.
I know, but it feels like it.
Okay.
It was a joke. But I thought that it was just a one-time thing because I've only had to have a few of those just when I've had to like go in. When I was going to get induced to have Scout, I had to have a negative COVID test. And then just when I had the endoscopy last week, I had to do one again. And both times I did this where when they shove the Q-tip in or whatever, it goes back and out of my mouth comes this, like this stupid, like involuntary weird moan.
Yeah. Huh.
Comes out of, and it
Wait,
happened
do it again.
both times. It was like,
that does not happen to me. No.
It's like a dumb sound. I want to apologize. Apologize for it.
Oh God.
But, like I didn't know what to say. Like I don't know. It must happen sometimes because the woman did not react. She wasn't like, sorry, what?
Yeah.
You know, she was just like, she just acted like no big deal. But it was like the dumbest sound that came out of my mouth. Like I'm sure that wasn't even it, but it was so stupid sounding.
Now I feel like I want you to demonstrate just so I can like get
have,
a
like,
Q-tip.
Full-size Q-tips. That's probably fine, right? Yeah.
You don't really have to do that because it feels like torture. But
if anyone else has made a stupid sound out of their mouth when they got a COVID test, would you please let me know? Thanks.
Please let her know because I can tell it's bothering her, not knowing if anybody.
Everyone I've asked has looked at me like I'm a psycho, and there has to be something. There's something back there that triggers. Stupid sound to come out of my mouth.
I feel like some not to be like judgmental, but I'm sure even with this is like an exaggerated version, but people making certain sex sounds that are really kind of interesting, you know, and they like I could hear a movie in the background playing. Kenny and I were in the bedroom. I could hear this movie playing, and I could tell it was like supposed to be a sex scene, but it was like super exaggerated. And the guy was like, I'm gonna stream, like make a stream or something. I can't remember what he was saying, but it was something like, I'm gonna shoot my load. And I was like, gosh, I was like, do people really? I was like, is that a sex scene going on up there? And Kenny was like, yeah, that's a sex. Yeah, he's like, that's a sex scene from such and such movie. And I was like, you should try to make those sounds sometime. Like that would be just kind of funny. But it was like pushing it out, like I don't know. So, but I don't think probably those people mean to make like weird sounds, like
involuntary. It's just it's unfortunate.
Like if you like see different porns, like they have different like moan sounds. Maybe that
porn
you can't
is
help.
on mute in my world. I don't need to hear that shit.
Oh my God, porn's always on mute.
Yeah.
Gosh. Can't do it too much right now.
This is a good radio.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for spending some time with us. We've had a good time.
Yes.
You know what? I thought of that would be a funny thing for us to say every time.
What's that?
See you next Tuesday, because you know how that's like like you say like, hey, that girl's a real see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know, but like our episodes come out on Tuesdays, so like,
see you next Tuesday. That's really clever. I like
Is
that.
it?
Yeah, I like
good.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like.
Do we say it in unison? Is that obnoxious?
Maybe. Yeah, we can be obnoxious. Let me just say, we have a Facebook group if you decide you want to join it. It's just called The Worst Day of My Life. We have an Instagram. It's worstdayofmylife.podcast. If you have stories of the worst day of your life, we would love to read them and hear them. It's the worst day podcast at gmail.com. And just remember that it could always be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse.
And we'll see you,
see you next
Tuesday.
Oh my gosh. So stupid. I like
Bye.
it. Bye.